active support test core ext, and well, maybe there is no test, or maybe it's an object. Try test, there it is. Require abstract unit, require active support core ext object, class object try test, active support test case. So setup, we have a string hello, test non-existing method, so method is undefined, assert not string.respond to method. So this is asserting that this indeed is not a method defined by our object, and then it asserts nil when you call try, just as the documentation describes. So test non-existing method with arguments, so the same method asserting that it doesn't respond to it and just passing in a few arguments. Cool. So test non-existing method bang, difference here being it expects a no method error, so we see the assert raise, and then there's the string.try method. Test non-existing method with arguments bang, just like the try without bang, but this time expecting a no method error. Test valid method, so we have a number, and test valid method, so we have our size, and that returns the size of the string. Cool. Now, it's interesting to me that this 5 is just returned here, and it's kind of like, well, where did that 5 come from? So I kind of would like, in my tests, maybe to instead of setup creating the string, I kind of like seeing the string in here so that I can see where that 5 comes from. But it's easy enough to just see that the string is in the setup and its length is 5. But it means I have to go up here and then come back down to see if I really want to see where that 5 is coming from. This is a simplistic example, so it's pretty straightforward, and that's that's a stylistic thing. Not everyone is going to agree with that, I'm sure, but it's just a little bit of a preference in tests for me. But I can see where they're coming from. So test argument forwarding, assert equal hey string.try sub LLO y, so it's going to forward our sub over to the string, and it's going to end up with hey. So test block forwarding, so sub LLO, and then it's going to use a block to match that value and return y, and again we get hey. Test nil to type, so assert nil nil.try to s, meaning if we say nil.toS using try, it is going to be nil, which is exactly as the documentation describes. Similarly, if you use 2i, then it's going to result in nil. Test false try, assert equal false, false.try to s. Okay, this is an interesting case because nil is kind of a falsy thing. So you might wonder that, well, if nil correctly returns nil, we would expect false to also correctly, propagate try onto false, because false is not nil, so it should obey the propagation properties of try. So then it returns the false string rather than nil. Cool. Test try only block. In this case, there's no method, so it's just going to reverse the string, and it asserts that the string is reversed. Test try only block bang. Same thing, but using bang, and then it's reversed. Now, I don't remember seeing this in the documentation. I wonder if try bang with a block, it seems like that's no different than try with a block. Since try bang, the real big difference is that if you call a method that isn't there, then it will throw a no method error. But it's a reasonable thing to test both of these cases. Test try only block nil. So we got nil, and we're going to try the block, and it's going to assert that this isn't run. I've run tests like this. It's kind of cool to see that I'm not the only one who's creating tests that way. It's nice to know that my the patterns I use are used elsewhere too. That's pretty cool. So assert equal false ran. That's just making sure that this block is not run. Test try with instance eval block. So that's where there's no argument to the block. And again with the bang, and it should also reverse it. Test try with private method bang. All right, so we got a class defining a private method in there. And then in the case of try bang for a private method, it will not allow it to propagate on. Cool, I like that. Test try with private method, and see, now in these other cases, the try method was tested first and then try bang. I find it intriguing that the try bang is tested first and then the try here. I wonder if that's just a, a silly little oversight where just one little inconsistency. It's not a big deal, obviously. It's all the tests are covered, but I kind of, when I see, this test is without the bang and then this is with the bang, I like to have my tests kind of follow that pattern when I have a pattern like that. Maybe it's, the implementer knew that and is just trolling me, but maybe it's just an accidental little artifact. But at any rate, it's testing the same thing as bang, but without the expectation of it throwing a no method error. It's instead going to return nil because that's what try is supposed to do. All right, so that was an interesting little dive into try. And thanks for watching. If you liked this video, then give it a like. And if you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe.